Christian Pulisic is said to be one of 3 Chelsea players on Xavi's radar to bring in at Barcelona. That's along with Hakim, Ziyech and Callum Hudson-Odoi, all of whom have been battling for minutes at Stamford Bridge this season. Jules, what more can you tell us?
I can tell you that's a really good idea, of course it is. But the reality is that financially, those deals are going to be very difficult to do because, as we know, Barcelona don't have any money to spend. And I think Xavi has been made aware of that by Joan Laporta when he arrived at the club. The fact that you can't go and spend big on transfer in January, probably not in the summer either. So you can identify all the players you want, and especially some who don't play much in their club, to attract them to Barcelona. But he will have to be in a clever way, either alone or alone with an option to buy later on, maybe, that you can trigger if you want to. But again, that can't be too high because they won't have that kind of money. It's very difficult. I can see why he would want the pace of Hudson-Odoi. Ziyech, I don't know where you play him, considering how strong the midfield is right now at Barcelona with Xavi, with Pedri, with De Jong and Busquets. Yes and no, as we explained before on the show. But then if you go and get Thiago Alcantara, who's also been linked to a return to Barcelona, or someone like Ziyech, or someone who plays in midfield, is difficult. Pulisic, you can play him wide. Of course, there's Ansu Fati, Dembele, but they're often injured too. Memphis can play centrally. So yeah, you can go for options, but those deals are going to be very hard to do because they've got no money at all. And I'm not even sure, even on loan, how much of the wage of someone like Christian Pulisic they can afford at Barcelona. So they will have to even agree that with the parent club, whether that's Chelsea, Liverpool, PSG, whoever they go for, that they won't probably be able to pay the full wages of those kind of stars and big names. So it's going to be difficult for them. But we knew that before, and I think Xavi is very much aware of it too.
But Casey, let's say the chance was there for a player like Pulisic to go to Barcelona. Would you advise him to do so?
I would go to Pulisic. I'd advise Pulisic to go anywhere where he's going to play week in and week out. If that's Barcelona, brilliant. If it's not, then why would you go? That's the tricky part. But the trickier part for Pulisic is, can he stay fit long enough to play week in and week out? I think his form has shown at times that he could comfortably be a starter at Chelsea week in and week out if he can get that run enough to really win the position and solidify it and give the manager the confidence to know I can count on this guy week in and week out. That's first and foremost. Now, what I have seen at times is I have seen players leave England who have had struggles in being fit and then being able to stay fit week in and week out. I don't know if that's something that Christian has to look at. I don't know if that's something that's even a possibility. But first and foremost, be available for every minute of every game and then let your talent do the talking.
Pulisic's issue for me, is clear. It's not a talent issue. As Casey said, this is a fitness issue for him, and it's something that he needs to. Before he starts thinking, or anybody starts thinking about where he's going to go or what he's going to do, he has to solve this, because this will become a noose around his neck in terms of, if this continues, you know, these little niggles that get worse, and as we all get a little older and you start chasing your tail and you get frustrated, you push yourself more, you rehab harder, you get more frustrated, you pick more injuries up. The more injuries you pick up, the more off-putting that is to potential suitors. And so he has to solve this fitness issue to start with and get consistency. Once he does that, as Casey said, he can get game time, and then he takes it from there. But the most important thing for him is crystal clear. He has to have a running or a period, a 6-month period minimum, where he's available for Thomas Tuchel to select. And that, I think, over the last couple of years, hasn't happened. There's always been something niggling away.
And sometimes it's you know, like this last time, it's a kick on the ankle, or it's you know, it's not nothing that, I mean, it's nothing that he doesn't know. It's nothing that it's not a probably even, you know, the most frustrated is Christian himself, that he's unable to do this. But to really take his career to that next level, he has to be available.
Well, Xavi Hernandez, we'll get to see what he's working with next weekend when La Liga returns to your screens on ESPN+. It's the Catalan derby, Barcelona taking on Espanyol. We will get a look at what it's like. Life begins for Xavi in the dugout at Barca. We cannot wait to see what happens next.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN+.